Talk about the time you failed is one of the most commonly asked interview questions. It is just as common as tell me about yourself or why do you want to work here. You can't really blame the interviewers for asking this question because the stories of failures can always tell the real insight about your maturity, your resilience, your openness to learnings, and your ability to receive constructive feedbacks. None of us would list our failure stories on our resume, LinkedIn profile, or our cover letter, and this is why job interviews serves as a platform to discover who you truly are as an executive candidate. Well, does that mean that you should share your most epic failure ever? Absolutely not. In this video, I want to share with you my strategy for answering this question and how it helped me secure my second vice president position in the largest Swedish company by market cap. In case you're new here, I'm Tiffany. In this channel, we talk about all things to help middle management get executive jobs. So if you want more content on this topic, subscribe and click the bell button to be notified when I post new videos every Thursday. Now let's get into it. My tip number one is you want to focus more on learning than the failure. What employers or recruiters really want to know is not so much your failure, but what you have learned from it and how you turned that insight into a positive result. So choose a story with these reflections in mind. These failures should be examples of how you realized, appreciated, and made course corrections. It's not about failures of damaging or costing your organization. You want to frame the consequence of the failure as a learning experience. So how do you select your story and make your case? Don't start by looking for failures. Instead, begin by looking for moments of course corrections, continuous improvements, and self-awareness. Here is the structure I used as an example. About 10 months ago, we were running a project using the X-Way. We realized that our regions were not following this strategy and we faced significant resistance. While some colleagues looked at it as a failure, but we saw it as an opportunity to learn and correct our course. We improved collaboration, communication, and listening, and we identified that we had missed a critical point in driving this change. With this realization, we doubled down on addressing this critical point, and now 12 months later, we are seeing signs of progress and have completed the pilot project in US, Germany, and Sweden, and we got support from the executive team for expanding this project globally. With this structure and example, you can see that the failure is followed by the solution and how we addressed it. So do not think of a failure story as a trap question that could damage your reputation. Instead, highlight your approach to correcting your own failures. This puts the spotlight on your maturity, your resilience, self-reflection, and leadership in achieving a positive outcome. Well, there's a difference between learning and correction in your storytelling during the interview. You don't want to go from failure to solution like waving a magic wand. The learning part and self-realization are what matters here. And that's where you come to the correction and the positive outcome. Please make sure to articulate both steps so that the interviewer understands how you developed from failure to learning to achieving. What you don't want to do here is to go directly from failure to achievements like a straight line. If you do that, you have completely missed the point of the question. If you resonate with this, hit the like button. Now let's move on to tip number 2. You want to choose a misjudgment, not a mistake. Whoever makes mistake in a job interview, a basic mistake can be perceived as a personal flaw. This can potentially damage your reputation. So what do I mean by misjudgment? Let me share some examples with you. For instance, a time when something didn't go as planned, or when a plan proved ineffective, or when an approach missed the target. These events are quite common in any modern workplace. They are not seen as a personal failure. They are more likely to be seen as the opportunities for course corrections. Now let me share a concrete example of my own answer. When we began rolling out the electric mobility project, we assumed that our customer base was quite familiar with e-commerce. So initially, we thought we could pre-sell online by asking for a minimum deposit. However, our strategy didn't go well as planned. It became clear that we have misjudged our customers. While they were familiar with e-commerce for consumer goods or low price point purchases, they were not ready to place an order for large equipment using their credit card. To address this misjudgment, we did a deeper focus group testing before the next phase to ensure that our electric mobility campaign aligned with our customers' behavior and their adoption curve for new solutions. This experience provided valuable lessons learned. the one that I still carry with me till this day. Tip number 3 is to keep the failure story short. This question about the time when you failed should be a side dish, not a main course. The purpose is to provide context and tell your leadership quality of improvement, growth, and self-realization. So you want to keep your story concise and answer it within 60 to 90 seconds, using a structure of what happened, what was the result, what was the learning, and what was the solution. Do not go over 2 minutes in a failure story. Keep it short, to the point. Get in, then get out. Tip number 4 is do not draw extra attention to the failure. It is small but important detail when you are presenting your case. Avoid using the word failure again and again. Mentioning it once or twice is just enough. You can replace failure with words like consequence, event, process, plan, or result. These words are more natural and less negative. Now you know I like to give you concrete examples. Here's mine. The failure of the first phase of the product launch helped us see issues and encouraged us to deepen our understanding of the plan and the process itself. We listened deeper to our customer and understood their behaviors to avoid adverse consequences. You can see from this example, I didn't use failure repeatedly. Instead, I replaced with words like plan, process, and consequence. Tip number 5, it's we, not me. If a team fails as a group, it might seem more relatable than an individual failing because there was a consensus behind the decision making. It also has the side benefit of reinforce your leadership. Any decisions you make as a leader are not just about you. You have collaborated with different stakeholders in the organization, up, down, and across. With any project you roll out in your organization, it's a team effort. It is important to recognize your part in the learning process. After all, it is a team sport, it's not an individual sport. Make a small adjustment in your language. Instead of saying, I didn't realize, say, we didn't realize. Instead of saying, I missed the opportunity, say, our team missed the opportunity. Shift from, I was not aware of, to, my colleagues and I were not aware of. This way, it shows that you've learned collectively and worked together as a team. Tip number 6. Do not defend a failure. When you are telling your story of a failure, do not try to limit the cost by defending, rationalizing, or minimizing it. The purpose of sharing this story is to demonstrate your learning, correction, and improvement. So here are the responses you want to avoid. I was right from the beginning. It's just my management didn't listen. It wasn't that bad, but my colleagues overreacted. Or even worse, I was too honest and knowledgeable, and our company was not ready to accept my idea. All these examples come across as defensive and definitely derail from the message of growth and development that you should convey in your storytelling. Number 7, be mindful of the words you choose to enhance your executive presence. When discussing a learning experience, it's important to use words like learned, gained insight, realized. When we correct the process of overcoming challenges, choose words like improved, corrected, or overcame. When describing solutions, use words like recalibrated, adjusted, or revisited. So with so many ideas above, how to put it all together. Now, here's one of the stories I shared about a past failure in one of my interviews. About 12 months ago, my team launched a global external campaign to communicate our company as a leader in innovation and sustainability. However, shortly after its launch, one of our European regions complained and became frustrated with our campaign. During the conversation, we realized we didn't take into consideration how our campaign impacted our regional product launch plan. So I apologized and worked closely with the head of marketing in our regions to develop a well-aligned external communication plan, which included product launch plans in different regions globally. With this effort, we avoided the conflict of communicating a product that was not yet available for sale in certain regions. This prevented us from confusing our customers. I regretted that we didn't think of this when we rolled out the global campaign, but we quickly learned from this experience. The well-aligned external communication voice across regions ensured a consistent and strong external brand image that showcases us as a sustainable and innovative company. Now, I hope this was helpful. If you are serious about your career advancement to the senior executive level and you want to get results in the next 3 to 6 months, you want to submit your application to the 1% Academy program where I will be coaching you. Go to inspiremyday.org/apply or click the link in the description below to book a free strategy call with my team or myself to see if we're a good fit to work together. For now, I will leave you with this video to find out how to answer the toughest interview question. I'll see you there.